I have with me Chaitali, who recently scored a 740, and this is her performance and profile. So you can see this was on the 22nd of September, and 740 score. So just wanted
Yeah.
to understand what worked for you in this course. What were your challenges when you were preparing, and how long did you take, and or how the exam was like the whole thing. Just could you brief me, please?
Yeah. So the things that worked for me, I think for critical reasoning,
Hmm.
uh, my timing decreased. Like I was taking 3 minutes, 20 seconds in the
Oh,
initial stages. And that decreased to literally 1 minute to 1 minute 10 seconds to 1 minute 20 seconds. Like
3 minutes 20 seconds. That is
yeah,
200 seconds to 1 minute 10 seconds. That is 70 seconds. That's almost one third, right?
yeah,
Okay, that's fabulous. And this was
yeah.
in critical reasoning. Okay.
Critical reasoning. So
Mm-hmm.
the main issue I had was I was able to understand, but it took me a lot of time to process. But because of your methods, I was able to analyze it so quickly that unknowingly that speed got reduced drastically. That was the best thing that happened because
Mm-hmm.
then I was able to finish my verbal paper on time or even before time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There was a time where I finished 3 minutes before, 5 minutes before, and even on the test day, I finished it around 5 minutes and some seconds before the actual.
That was the entire verbal section, you mean?
Yeah, the
And
verbal.
take us through each of the areas.
For sentence correction, I think for me, the initial part where you actually taught the what verb is and what noun is and how everything works.
Mm-hmm.
I think everyone knows that, but actually telling
Mm-hmm.
what action is what and what is necessary in the sentence and what can be removed and what all things are necessary, that was very very helpful to determine that this sentence is incorrect and this sentence should not be there. So I think that helped me a lot in checking for the errors, because before that I was not able to pinpoint what the error was, but
Mm-hmm.
after those sessions I was able to pinpoint that no, this is not correct, this is the error. So for sentence correction, that helped me a lot. And for RC, I think
Mm-hmm.
especially your awareness classes helped a lot. Like
Mm-hmm.
I already knew the content, and so I somewhere in my mind I knew what the context was, so that helped me a lot.
So
And
background information probably from the awareness videos, maybe a bit of Know the World also you would have watched at that time.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
that's great to hear. And anything to do with Octave? Did you follow, or were you following your own
Yeah,
approach?
I did. I did. So this octave helped me a lot when the questions were difficult. So initial questions, the easy questions were fine, but when there were difficult questions, I found octave very helpful because it actually analyzes the whole paragraph, and you are able to, when you are able to tell the tone and what
Mm-hmm.
the actually wants to say, you can actually tell everything about the paragraph.
Right, right.
That helped me a lot. So yeah.
Was there anything unusual you felt in the verbal section particularly, or maybe in the quant section also, even in the quant one, please?
There was nothing unusual in it. I mean, I felt so normal while giving the paper because I saw 23 of your
Mm-hmm.
tests, so it was very normal for me. I was sitting there, and I am a person who gets very anxious on the test day, but that day was a very normal day for me, and I was sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
It was very normal day for me. Nothing.
That's great. Great to hear.
Quant, one thing that really helped me was for data sufficiency, because initially what was happening was I was getting a lot of questions wrong in the first 10 questions. So I was
Mm-hmm.
3 questions wrong in the first 10 questions itself.
Mm-hmm.
Because the data sufficiency got really improved,
Mm-hmm.
I did not get wrong until I think 20 questions. So I was able to understand, and
Mm-hmm.
even later tests that I gave, uh,
Mm-hmm.
the questions that I got wrong were only the latter questions that were very, very difficult ones. But that was a very good point where I was able to reduce the mistakes in the beginning.
Okay, and what was your study schedule like? How many hours could you study? And ideally, if someone studies, let's say 3 hours a day, how much time should the entire preparation take according to you? What's your take on that, please?
So I was studying 3 hours a day every day, but I mean 3 to 4 hours a day every
Mm.
day during the weekdays, and on weekends I used to study around 5 to 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And I took almost 2.5 months to prepare. And
Two and a half months. And
yeah,
were you a student of the self-paced or the live batch?
the self-paced one.
Self-paced one. So could you
Yes.
maintain that discipline that people generally feel it's very difficult to maintain on a daily basis, like that kind of discipline?
I was able to maintain it. I did it continuously and I gave the exam. I was able to maintain the pace.
Great, Chaitali. Really, really nice. And I'm very happy that this worked out for you. I mean, something going from 200 seconds to 70 seconds is just a phenomenal. I've never heard someone really improving this much. So CR concepts definitely helped you and overall
Yeah.
verbal. Very happy for your score. I think there shouldn't be any deterrent anymore to a top school admit, right? Bye-bye then.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right.